Ahead of that, we have the 4th Ward School, built in 1875. It has 4 floors and 14 classrooms. It was built to accommodate over 1,000 students.
Wow.
It is one of the first schools in the West to have forced air heat, water fountains on all 4 floors,
Really?
and flushing toilets.
Oh my goodness.
That school was closed in 1936, due in part to this open pit mine over here to our left. It is one of the last schools of its kind in this country, and is open daily for tourism. In the heyday of Virginia City, between here and the cemetery and up and down the side of the mountain, we had close to 30,000 residents. In back of us in Gold Hill was another 10,000. We had 109 saloons, 50 dry goods stores, including a Tiffany's outlet, 35 hotels and boarding houses, 22 restaurants, 6 churches, 5 schools, and 17 breweries. We also imported about 300 tons of whiskey a year. You see, the gold and silver from the Comstock altered the monetary standards of the world, fostered many new industries, helped build San Francisco in the 1800s, helped rebuild San Francisco after the 1906 earthquake and fire. On October 31st, 1864, Nevada was admitted to the Union as the 36th state, due in no small part to the gold and silver of the Comstock. The senators were necessary in ratifying the 13th Amendment. After the Civil War was over, Ulysses S. Grant came over here to this building on the right. That's the Savage Mansion. He spoke from the 2nd floor balcony, thanking the folks of the Comstock for their help in the North winning the Civil War. That's the business office, and they don't open it up for tourists.
I see. I know
now,
why.
right up here, we do like to tell a story about a couple of miners who had gotten into a little argument. One miner purchased a piece of property, began building his home. When the second found out about it, he bought the adjacent property.
Genuine Ford, really?
When the first miner was just about finished, the second moved his house from the other end of town. He said, "I'm going to put my house so close to that man's house that he'll not be able to enjoy the cool breezes of summer or the warming sun in the winter." Now take a look out to the right at the red and white houses on the street below. As we pass by, look between them and see just how close together they are.
Oh wow, the roofs are almost touching, look.
I can think that miner accomplished his mission.
I'm sure he
We call
did.
them the spite houses.
Wow.
Rumor has it they had a girlfriend involved in that little argument. Which house do you suppose she ended up in, huh?
The red and white one.
The Chapin house here's the last of the old boarding houses. It was built about 1862. Down below we have the front side of the Mackey Mansion that I mentioned earlier. It should open today about noon for tours.
Wow.
On the left on the street above are 2 tin buildings. That's the carriage house and the castle.
I see them.
The carriage house was rebuilt several years ago using all the original specifications. They even brought in square nails from Pennsylvania.
Uh-oh.
The castle itself was built in 1868. It was modeled after a castle in France, thus the name. All of the furnishings were purchased in Europe. Went around the Horn to the Bay Area and up to Virginia City by wagon.
Check
They
this
have
out.
silver doorknobs there and a number of silver fixtures throughout the house. They did shut it down at tours a few years ago, though. First Presbyterian church on the left was built in 1866. This church and the next 13 buildings down to the intersection were spared that fire of 1875.
Wow.
You see, it was late one night in October of 1875. A miner living in a boarding house a couple of blocks up knocked over an oil lamp and started a fire. Now, it was a very windy night, as we've been known to have up here on the Comstock. By morning, that fire had destroyed 80% of the businesses, more than 1,000 homes, and the churches, as I mentioned earlier. but it was after all the heyday of Virginia City. Within a few months, they all rebuilt and back in operation. Comstock Firemen's Museum on the right will be open till 4 o'clock.
Okay.
On the left is the old Washoe Club.